Hi, have you ever heard about Spookys Jumpscare Mansion? Because you're about to. Spookys Jumpscare Mansion is a horror game developed by two people, and it's a masterpiece. While the first game definitely has flaws, as it was more of a game jam project, rather than a full-fledged it was supposed to be a game, the follow-up DLCs showcase the absolute skill that the devs have, and their attention to detail is unreal. So I don't like horror as a genre. It hit some bad spots for me, but I became purely hyper-fixated on Spookys Jumpscare Mansion for a good 4 months, and I did not sleep. This game is horrifying, let me just say that. The settings are unsettling, the story is depressing, the imagery and enemies are a lot, so much so that I don't know what I can say on this app, if I'm being honest. But I became so completely obsessed with this game that I had to figure out the story. I spent 4 months compiling a 200-page Word document of every piece of information to finally figure out the story for this game. And through doing that, I deconstructed a bunch of the game files and looked at how they did like a bunch of the triggers and whatnot. And this is all going to loop back to the first game not being as good. So the first game has a very defined goal, and it is you are on floor 1, you want to make it to room 1000, go, right? And so that's a lot of content to fill out, and they didn't have enough. So a lot of the rooms are filler. A lot of the rooms are like randomly generated filler that go along like a set of predetermined rooms, right? And within that, there are like special spawns that can happen for like rare rooms with special things, and all of them have different chances. I was watching my girlfriend do her first playthrough last night, which was a ton of fun. I have never seen a game save file that broken. I have never seen a game save file that broken. 7 rare rooms back to back on several occasions. There's one room, there's the chandelier room, which is, it's just decorative, but it's like the lowest spawn rate in the game. I saw it once on my first playthrough, once. Tell me why she had it 8 times. 2 in a row, I might add. There's an arcade room, right? Which with like a bunch of little mini games. You're supposed to get it like maybe twice. Maybe. 38 arcade rooms. Or map rooms. You're supposed to get like 3, maybe. Just like actually the most ridiculous save file I have ever seen in my life. Like that's something that like I would set up to try to like test data values and see how they work. That save file was fake. And so because of how like absolutely absurd the save file was, she was able to like collect every single piece of story relevant information in one playthrough. And I'm just completely blown away by that. But yeah, the DLCs really expand upon the story and the overall environment, and I'd love to talk about that, as well as the story and how everything's connected. But yeah, Spookys Jumpscare Mansion is an absolutely underrated horror gem. The first game is free on Steam right now. It always will be. If you haven't played it yet, please give it a try. I do want to say though, if you are going to play Spookys Jumpscare Mansion, I think the first game really benefits from you doing it all in one session. I don't think this is a problem that the DLCs have, but the first game really benefits atmosphere-wise, energy-wise, and just getting you like in the mindset if you do it all in one playthrough. The game isn't too terribly long, just set aside like 3 hours. 3 hours. 3 hours sounds good. But I really do think Spookys Jumpscare Mansion 1 benefits so heavily from being one playthrough. While it's not the most story-filled game or the most exciting game, I think Spookys Jumpscare Mansion did an incredible job at what it was. And I think the devs giving themselves those years to improve and then putting out Karamari Hospital and the Dollhouse at the level of quality that they are is absolutely fantastic. And I think that this series deserves more love. And I think anyone who enjoys horror, especially like analog horror, like old PC games horror, I think you owe it to yourself to sit down and play Spookys Jumpscare Mansion. It is a fantastic game created by 2 extremely talented individuals, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's such a good time. The environment sucks you right in. The atmosphere is amazing. Also, just be warned, you will get game overs. It will happen. This game's hard. This game's a little hard. I'm gonna be honest. The game's a little hard. But just go into it knowing that it's gonna be an amazing horror experience, and once you figure out the hard parts, they're completely avoidable. And I think you're truly gonna find a unique horror game, unlike anything else, that just makes you appreciate like every single detail that goes into it. And you'll find yourself like pointing things out that, like, 100 floors earlier you had no idea about, but it's great. I hope you enjoy it. It's an amazing game.